What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to JEDIOSHI, and it's Tuesday, March 22nd. Sorry for the absence last week, but it was spring break. Things were crazy. Hope you're doing good. If you had spring break or anything like that, hope you enjoyed it. And wanted to cover some charts today. We've had some really interesting activity the last few days. Let's start with the equities first, as we kind of do. Now this chart is pretty blown up, or it's pretty drawn over. But what you can see is we've had, since last week, really since Monday or Tuesday, we've been kind of up only in the equities market until yesterday, which was Monday. But it's been pretty much up only, and the bulls are in control. Off the bottom, we did have lower time frame signals on the IOSHI system. So that was pretty exciting, but we've had strong days and pretty much up only. I'm waiting for this to turn around at some point. So, that's why I kind of drew these red arrows in a couple days ago or whatever, but I guess we did get a red day. I was expecting maybe a 382, pull back to a 382, and then maybe up here to this high point at 35K for Dow Jones at 35K. But we'll see. What's interesting today is that, and we'll zoom in maybe on the S&P chart, but it's been pretty much up only, and the bull will not quit charging. So, that's what's going on in equities, and what we're doing, I think, on the crypto side is waiting for this to transpire over and see if we can get some of this really straight up only bleed into crypto. I shared with you guys in the Telegram, but a relative Bitcoin versus, say, Dow Jones or S&P doesn't matter, but relative to its fib on this pullback, the equities market is far outpacing crypto right now. So we're waiting for signs and signals as to what crypto is going to do, but we do obviously look into the equities market to kind of sense that risk on, risk off environment, and then we look at inside the crypto market. We look at different cryptos. The Bitcoin and then the smaller caps to kind of give us a read on what's going on. So this video might be a little bit longer. I wanted to show you some things, but so that's Dow Jones. Obviously been moving off the bottom. We broke out here. Nice strong signals early in the week last week to go long. Took it long all week, and we broke out of this trend. See the red candle for the pullback, and now we're continuing up. We'll see if we go to 35K in the Dow Jones, which would be my first target, or the 618 is at 35.2. So somewhere in between 35 to 35.2, somewhere low 35s out. That's where we tag the 618. And I'd be surprised if we go much higher than that without a more meaningful pullback. So what does that mean for crypto? We'll see. They're not walking lockstep together right now. So I'm gonna have to see. But let's look at the dollar. I want to show you guys this. This was my chart. Obviously my levels I'm watching for if we fall down. We broke trend on RSI. See, RSI is down here to the 50. This is the daily, so it's pretty valid. The DXY did break down below this trend. We're still chopping at the top, just painting more layers, if you will, here on the wall. So I expected some of this. I didn't quite expect it to go this long. But we'll see. What's interesting also is that equities are moving up pretty fiercely in the face of a higher on average dollar. So, it just shows you the strength of the bull. And, I think that we go back to our scenario where the dollar falls and cryptos rally. I think that'll make it even stronger if it does. Right. So I'm expecting this to break at some point, to break down. I am expecting the DXY to fall down below 98. My first target would be 96 here at this support level, and then down here is a horizontal at 94. And if you look deeper, we have levels all the way down to 89. So, but let's zoom out here on the dollar, kind of get a bigger macro view of. Let's see if we go to the weekly, kind of where we are on the grand scheme of things. This is also, I think, impacted by geopolitical events, political finance or geopolitical finance. you know, the dollar is the world reserve currency. It's a flight to safety for other currencies that are failing, you know, on and on and on. So this is the weekly chart. So this is a lot of data back to the 70s here. But yeah, we're down here in this range. If we can get a breakdown here, I mean, I haven't spent a lot of time really studying this higher time frame chart, but if we break down here and below 89, you know, that we could find it much lower. However, this does look like a move off the bottom since 2008. So longer term, I'd have to spend some time with the chart. Longer term, I wonder if we don't do a brief bounce, brief correction down, and then we move up. So don't be surprised to see that longer term. S&P, this is just the, yeah, this is the 5 minute, what I was looking at. Note the gap here, and I'll clear that, but note the gap that we put in on the morning open here. So there's a gap, obviously there. We were looking at, you know, these levels and these breakdowns, and hold on real quick. You're seeing these levels being held with a weaker RSI, right? So I'm expecting us to fall at some point, but it just hasn't happened yet. We'll see what happens. 30 minutes into close, we'll see what happens. And bear with me, I'm sorry, I'm just checking something real quick. But so that's S&P. Basically, this thing has been, you know, up for the majority of the day. And even these retracements off the falling RSI and kind of break there, but even those have been bought up, right? So I would not be surprised to see something like this. Actually, here on this candle, I thought at 45.05 or 45.14 on this chart, I was expecting, boom, that to break us out, top side here and then up, but now we've fell back within it. So we'll see what happens. Interesting price action there. Let's go on to Bitcoin. We're going to spend a little bit more time here. What I wanted to do was start on the weekly chart to kind of give us the bigger perspective and just to take a look at what the charts are telling us, right? So on the weekly, we have broken the downtrend, but we've gone, what's obvious, right? But we've gone from downtrend to sideways. Okay, so the next move is from sideways, we either go up or down, right? Or sideways, right? So, but what is encouraging here is that the weekly RSI is curling up. So in my book, this is a long signal or a buy signal. So you broke the downtrend, and now you have wide divergence here on the weekly. RSI is up. RSI on the weekly is close to 50. We've seen this before when we fell back before, but this last week on Sunday when we closed, it was the highest close in 4 weeks, I think. And, you know, we've had additional follow through since. So look, on the weekly chart here, these levels from this pivot here are kind of these high point on these two candles. What is that? 42.4. So we are right above it. Yeah, we're right above that. And so anything that's a higher high is good. But again, this is a weekly chart, right? So we'll start with more of the macro view of things, and then we'll zoom down. It's how I always do it, to kind of give us a who's in control, what's happening, are we on the right side of the market? And that to me is what's always most important, is understanding which side of the market you should be on. And so that means understanding the market. We have broken above this RSI wedge on the daily. That's bullish. Candle is above this pivot here from 2 days ago, and then this prior period high point. So, you know, I'm expecting, you know, if we can continue up and we can close this candle above this pivot, and then we can come in and we need to attack 45.3, 45.4, we need to break a higher high above this, right? That's our goal here. And what we have for now, if I include the wick, it's that. If I don't, it's that, right? But you know, it's a, you know, this does look bullish to me. But what I look at is price action and then the strength of it, right? So for me, I'm more of a price action and strength guy than I'm a pattern guy. But I know that when we break top side on RSI, especially on the daily, that's bullish. Okay, now we're clearing candles, that's bullish. And so I'm bullish until this breaks, right? I'm bullish until we get a daily close. And what I brought up or talked about last week was if we get up here, let me show you guys. If we get up here and we break down and we get rejected and we get a daily sell signal on a rejection, I'm probably taking positions off, right? I'm probably getting defensive because then I'm not sure if we are coming down to here or down to here or what's going to happen, or if this is just much longer. But for me, it's going to be a risk off if I get a signal up here at 46 area. 46 on a signal on a breakdown for me is risk off. Is my plan, right? So you have to have your plan, and I hope you have a plan too. I'm here to help you with that, but we all need to have our own plan, and that's my plan. I still do think that we retrace, we come back to, we get a 618 or 702 retracement at some point. And so let me show you what that looks like. So this is why I came up with this idea of like, if we get rejected from here again, you know, I think at a minimum, okay, say if we get it rejected there at 45, 5, 46, somewhere in here, even if we pierce up and we get rejected on a signal, on a daily sell signal, to me, I'm not sure if we're coming down here. I'm not sure if we're coming to 38. I'm not sure if we're breaking these. You know, I'm not sure if we're coming down to here, right? And I also don't know how long that might take. So if we get a daily sell signal, I'm planning to take positions off and wait, and wait for strength. And in the other scenario, if we just keep moving up, then I don't take any action. I ride it until I get a signal, and maybe that's a 618, or maybe that's a 702. And at some point, here, I'll redo all this. At some point, I do believe we get a retracement, right? So if say we are blowing off top in the equities market, if equities are blowing off at new all-time highs, right, then I would expect Bitcoin to be, in crypto, to move up at least to a 618, 702 in more of the nearer term, more than say 6 months out, right? So there's two theories in the retracement. One is that we might get like a quick pop, and then we might drop down, and then it might be a longer time period for more of a sustained retracement. And the idea is that alts will do okay here, and they'll probably outpace Bitcoin as they're doing now. They're doing better. But the real alt season and just cycle type stuff is probably later in the year, right? So what I'm doing is I'm planning to hedge my risk. And if I see weakness and get a signal, I mean, it's a good time to act on the signal anyways. But if I get a signal, then I am out and I will wait for strength. And if that means we do this and we do that on RSI and we get a sell signal, I will wait till we get a buy signal right here. And I'll just wait. And maybe it's here, and maybe it's, you know, who knows on time, right? But if that does happen, that's my play. I'm just done. I'm done waiting on the market. I really am. There's lots of things to be doing, and lots of things we can do. Trading other markets and a bunch of other stuff. So that's my plan. However, so for what you need to know today, we do have a pop out on RSI. We have a higher high on price. We are not above these 45.5 levels, but it is higher high on structure. And just in case you missed it in the Telegram, let me show you what I did on Elliott Wave, which is, I mean, Elliott Wave is subjective, big time. But here's kind of how I got to where I got to, right? Okay, so if we're going to retrace to 55, 58, somewhere, 56K, 60K maybe, something like that, then what I expected, so here's how I'd start. What I expect it to look like is a 1 through 5, up to say, let's call it 60. So 1 through 5 to 60. Okay, well, I would have to have a 1. I'm going to say that's my bigger 1, and that's my 2. Now, at some point, I'm going to have to have a 3, right? And it has to be higher than this 1, or else it's not. So it has to be at least here, and it can't be this short. So that's the only thing. It can't be the shortest. So you could say, well, that could be that, and then 5, whatever. This is how you get trapped in the Elliott Wave conundrum. Right, anyways, let's just draw this to, say, the bottom of this range here. So let's say that's 3. And don't hold me to time, guys. I don't know. That, and then let's say 4 pulls back to the top of 1. You can do that. And then 5 can go to a 60. Let's just say that happens. Okay. So let's say that's our bigger structure in our retrace. Hold on, let me think through this. Okay. One thing I'll point out, and this isn't too much, but this would be part of like the larger ABC, right? Okay. All right. This is that theory. And quite honestly, I'm not sure if that's super relevant because this can also be 1 through 5 of, what is it, wave 2 or whatever? No, wave 1. If we're doing we go back to the whole theory of like whether this is the top or it's not the top, right? So we don't have to worry about that in this. It's kind of my point. Okay. So if we're doing 1 through 5 on a retrace, if, right? If we're doing 1 through 5 on a retrace, and that's 1, and that's 2, which you could believe it, right? And 3 is not the shortest. 4 can't overlap 1. That's about all you need to know. Then you get 5, right? Okay. So we're somewhere in wave 3, right? You have to agree, right? We're somewhere within wave 3. Okay. Inside wave 3, I'm going to assume we'll have 5 waves. Okay, this is how I did it, right? So inside wave 3, I do 1 through 5. So I'm going to have some sort of 1, some sort of 2, some sort of 3, some sort of 4, some sort of 5. Okay. I think I colored it yellow, right? Okay. So that's yellow. Now, if we are inside of 3, of the blue 5, then I could draw that as 1, that as 2, and we're inside of this 3. So this 3 has to come above 1, right? To be valid, or else it's not something else. Okay, so hold that thought. Now, then 4, whatever. I'm more focused on where are we now than what do these look like, right? Okay, now I have 1 through 5 of 3. So now I think we are inside 3 of 3. Now, where are we within this? And this is what I drew in green. Well, if this is the case, then hold on. Sorry, bear with me, guys. If that's the case, and we are, sorry, guys. Okay, we're good. Okay. If we are within 3 and 3, then we're within 3 of 3, which usually gets pretty good. And if we're within 3, I would say there's 5 waves. So if within this 3 there are 5 waves, then I could draw 1 here, 2 here, 3 would come up here, right? And 4 and then 5. Let's just say that's, and I drew it in green, so that's green. Okay. So this is where I got to, where I shared with you in the Telegram that if this is true, and we are doing a 1 through 5 of a retrace, and all these other rules apply, whatever. But I see us right now as inside 3 of 3 of 3, which is, I mean, 5 is usually the most like up thrusty, blow off-ish type moves, but 3 of 3 can get going pretty good. All right, so this was, call it 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3, 4 of 3, 5 of 3, right? And inside that 1 through 5, you have 5 waves on each. Hope I didn't confuse you much, but this is just me drawing waves. Remember, if you recall, I was drawing ABC and could never get 5 waves in C until I think either here or down here. But it was a hard thing for me to get 5 waves in C until the end. So this is just me drawing waves. And if I'm to draw it, then this is how I see it. And I can get, I can put us right in the middle of 3 and 3 and 3 right now, which could be pretty exciting. I mean, like, honestly, what we're seeing in equities, right? I mean, we're seeing equities go nuts. We haven't seen that. And I showed you guys where we were on the fib on the Dow, right? But look, we are only up to we're not even, I mean, we're barely above the 236. I mean, Dow Jones is going towards the 618, right? That would be the equivalent of a 55K Bitcoin. This is why I say like we're way behind. Okay, so Bitcoin's way behind, relatively. So yeah, we could definitely see, you know, a strong close here and an additional day here. I mean, we could see it quick. We could see this happen pretty quick. We could see the next few days, we could see 45K pretty easily, which is just 10% up. So it's not that huge. You can see that in a day. It's crypto, right? So that's my latest on Bitcoin. But you know, I mentioned this to you guys yesterday, but I always just go back to, are we on the right side of the market? You know, when I see all this stuff on Twitter, everybody has ideas, people are calling for this, calling for that, staking their claim, you know, all this stuff. I always just go back to, what are the charts telling me, or what are the charts telling us today? And are we on the right side of the market? And here's the daily RSI, right? We popped out of the top side. If we would have broken down the bottom side, I would have been more concerned. We are making higher highs here. The weekly RSI is strengthening from the bottom. That's good to see. That's bullish. That's a bull signal on the long signal on the weekly. Now we're seeing the RSI pop above this trend. I'm not sure if it was here or the weekly, but I was looking at, maybe it was this, I don't know. But yeah, we're above this here. I'd like to, yeah, we get up here. Obviously price will be up there by that point. But early indications are that the bulls have regained or taken control. And since last week, you know, in line with equities, although Bitcoin has not moved like equities. So let's look at a couple other things. I know this is going to be a long one today, guys, but I haven't done a lot of this lately, so I'm having a little bit of fun too. Let's look at, I sorted by percent. So let's look at some of these older ones, right? Look at Bitcoin Cash. This is daily, right? So popped out of the wedge. So Bitcoin Cash has already resolved its downside. You know, everybody back here, everybody's calling for these coins to die. So there's Bitcoin Cash. We're out. Look at RSI. RSI popped. It had the same. You can toggle between, say, Bitcoin. See that? See, same pattern. Same pattern. Bitcoin Cash is just leading. And we can go back in time. I think it was in 2017 where Bitcoin Cash led Bitcoin by a certain number of days, whatever. But yeah, good to see that. I would say it looks like Bitcoin Cash is maybe 3 or 4 days. 3 days maybe ahead of Bitcoin. Kind of in its structure. See how it broke out right here? So it's good to see. I mean, it's just bullish for the space, right? I don't care if you like Bitcoin Cash or not. It's good to see action like this. It's good to see liquidity going towards the space that we're invested in, than liquidity leaving. So I won't do much more chart analysis on Bitcoin Cash. Let's look at Ethereum Classic, because it's a couple of these, and you guys in the Telegram brought up like Dash and a couple others, right? But yeah, look at it, man. Ethereum Classic put on another monster day today, 20%. So again, look, RSI triangle down here. See that? Break upwards, and then now look at the daily RSI is up to 90. Granted, I'm on 9, but see, we have resolved this range upwards, and look how impulsive that is. Look how strong that is. Granted, it's got a ways to go, but rather see this than a bunch of small red candles sideways, right? But yeah, look at that. Now let's look at I'm gonna show you SHIB. Let's look at SHIB 23.93, almost 24. Okay, it's coming around. It has a sort of similar triangle, breaking northwards. Guys, the thing is, and a lot of these alts too, they only move kind of straight up, right? If you go back and look at SHIB's days, the advancing days are big and green. And yeah, there's some sideways, right? But when it moves, it's not moving up at 45 degrees. It's going straight up. That's what I like about this, right? We had 2 days back here. We thought, man, if it holds this thing, it could send. Well, it didn't. It fell all the way back, right? 3 days back here and 5 days back here. So it doesn't take long for you to make up a tremendous amount of ground. And that's what we're waiting for. I mean, we could see in the next 5-10 days, things get really pretty heated, pretty bullish. Bitcoin runs up, tags 46, maybe even higher, and we get alts really moving, like Ethereum Classic. You know, let's look at Dash because I know you guys brought that one up, and then we'll look at a couple more because I know you guys really like TFUEL and I'll think of it. So yeah, again, not as impulsive or not as strong as Ethereum Classic. Not a lot of R right now, but see how we're in this mid-range RSI 50 range on the daily, and then pop northward, right? Popped up. That's bullish. Okay, let's look at TFUEL. Oh, okay. It's not done anything. I mean, it's, yeah, relatively nothing. Huh. Okay. But somebody brought it up in the, I think it was CM in the Telegram about the, and I would think this goes up as long as Bitcoin's bullish. Look, the RSI is climbing. Your price is climbing. RSI is climbing faster. I think this will pop. I really do. At some point. And I think once things get moving, like we're right below this dynamic trend line. We're right below this. If we can pop up, then, you know, then I think then we'll run. Let's look at, this will be interesting. Let's look at Ethereum Classic and draw like a similar wedge on it, because I didn't do that, to see if it sort of really gained speed after it broke. Hard to say because it kind of just broke, but let's just draw this, right? You guys know my love for trend lines. It's so funny. I hear people talk trash about it all the time. But look, yeah. Look, as soon as we cross this line on ETH Classic, right? Boom, 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 boom. 4 days. Straight up. 21%. Followed by, can't get it. There we go. 12%. And today we're putting on a 20%. So yeah, look. This is why I say these are important. Once you cross this threshold, boom, liquidity hits and you go. What else? We looked at SHIB. Let's look at, I wanted to show you FTM. This is one, you know, and I haven't done a lot of this kind of work, but like, you know, once you pass this threshold, you know, do you go? Is that sort of a condition, right? So GLMR, I posted a poll, which one doubles first, Litecoin, SHIB, or GLMR? No one picked my GLMR. That was me, guys. I'm the only guy that said, I think this could double fast. I just do. I think that, I don't know why. It's not total hopium either, guys. But from 286, here's why. Okay. A 286, what is that? A double is 560, 570? Okay. Is that right? Hope I did that right. Okay, guys. For GLMR to double, it only has to move to here. That's my point. My whole point was like, the reason why I think so is GLMR moves from here to here in this chart and you've doubled. I think, to me, that happens before SHIB and Litecoin, but let's find out. That's GLMR coming off the bottom. Look at that RSI strength on the daily, above 50. So, boy, wouldn't that be sweet if that just rockets up there. Let's see, what else? So Litecoin. Okay, Litecoin. Pretty nice day today. 5% for Litecoin. This is on the daily. So look. Yeah, we're seeing some of the older, and we'll look at XRP too. Seeing some of these older ones move. That's not too much of a instantaneous move off the break of the trend line, but it's promising. RSI is popped high. Look at that. With not a lot of relative movement. That's interesting. I'll have to think about that. XRP still hanging out. I pointed this out to you guys. Let's look at this. This is the daily, so this is back to early 2021. Right. This to me looks like that, doesn't it? I have this fractal in there, but look, that with that build, this is like a climb at 45 degrees. And once you break this high, see that right there? That's what I was trying to point out. Once you break this, you just go straight up. That's equivalent to 92 cents right here. So if we climb to 92 cents, I mean, if we do the same thing we did, it just goes straight up, right? Well, that's just what happened last time. You know, where could it go? I mean, on the fib, there are, you know, I think first T1 for me would be, you know, fractal, whatever. I'd look at fibs. I'd pull the fib out. Let's look at it real quick. So from this range, and this is quite a bit of data because it goes back quite a ways. My T1 for me, if we can go to the golden zone, right here, see that, guys? $3. So for, I mean, if we fly out of here at 92 cents and we go straight up like it's done before, but just know that the golden zone is at $3. So it's very likely to go $3 and back and then more. But $3 would be T1 for me. Because of the fib, the golden zone and the fib. But that's about it. I know this is a long video, guys. Thanks for staying with it to the end. If you made it this far, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Help us to build JEDIOSHI. We are trying to help people learn to read charts, understand markets, and take action. Learn to think like traders and learn to be successful in markets is what it's all about. So thanks again. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.